What's going on, Rovers? It's Mr. Shalott back with another video focusing on that puzzle cube project that we've started. At this point, you guys have already come up with your cube solution. You have your final solution that's going to work. You have spent some time drawing your ISOs of each of your puzzle cube pieces, okay? So you've drawn those 5 pieces, you add those up, they equal up to 27 blocks, which gives us our finished cube, okay? Now, when we talk about this, what we're going to do is we need some working drawings. We're going to convert these ISOs that you've already drawn, and we're going to convert those into working drawings into our engineering notebook. So to do so, we know how to create multi-view drawings. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select the green piece right here in my cube. All right, we're going to go ahead and pull that one out. Slide the rest of the cube away. All right, now the way that I had this oriented inside of the cube matches my drawing back there on the sheet, as you can see. And you guys have 5 different pieces than this. But what I want you to understand is the way you're looking at it and the way that you drew it is not the best front view, okay? Currently, when we're looking at this shape, we know how to determine the best front view of an object that we're looking at. This is not it, okay? This is just the orientation that the piece fits within inside of our cube, all right? So I need to take this 5-block piece here, all right? And I need to lay it down, and I have to rotate this in some different direction here that's going to give me the best front view, okay? Now, we've spent a lot of time talking about front views, all right? And when we look at all these different orientations of how we could lay this down, okay, we want to lay this down flat. When we're doing our drawing, we also want to think in terms of dimensioning, okay? What would be the easiest way to dimension this, all right? So if I'm laying this down flat and we're looking at this, all right, always over here on this side, when we're looking at it on this direction, that would be our front view, okay? Over here, this is our right side view, and then our aerial from the top, okay? What would be the best dimension when we're looking at this thing, all right? When we're laying this thing out, okay? Is that the best front view? Is that the best front view? Okay, which of these views, all right, is going to give us the fewest hidden lines? Okay, which of these is going to give us the fewest hidden lines, showing us the best ideal shape? All right, so when I'm looking at this, I would say that this is probably the best front view. Okay, one would argue that this here, okay, they're basically the same view. So either one of those two, I think, would be acceptable for this, okay? But we're going to go with this one for today's demo, all right? So when I lay this thing down in my ISO view, okay, I need to make sure that this front view is on the left-hand side of the shape there, all right? And that's how I want to draw it, not how I drew it last night for homework, okay? Because that's not the best front view. This is the best orientation. So what we're going to do, all right, is I would start drawing this piece with a piece of our graph paper, okay? Now, as we go to draw this, all right, as we go to draw this, I need to draw that front view. We need to determine how big this is, all right? So when we're determining how large this is, remember, each of these blocks is 3/4 of an inch, okay? So from one side to the other is 3/4 of an inch. So if I have 3/4 here, 3/4 here, 3/4 there, it'd be 3/4, okay, or 0.75 times 3, all right? That number is going to be 2 1/4, all right, 2 1/4. Now, when you're laying this out on the paper, I want you to count each one of these blocks as 3 blocks on our paper, because if you remember, these grid squares that we have, okay, on the piece of paper, let me try and focus here. There we go, okay. These squares that we have, these are a 1/4 inch, okay. 4 of these equal 1 inch. So what I need to do, all right, is I need to come across 3 of these, which would give me 1 block. Well, this current shape, when we look at it, okay, is 3 across. So 3 times 3 is 9. So I'm going to start down here in the corner, make my first mark, okay, and then I need to count over 9 boxes. So we'll come over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I'll make a mark. All right, so there we go. That is the width of our shape. What is the height of our shape? Well, if we bring our block back in, this is 2 blocks high. Okay, well, 2 times 3, okay, so we're going to go up 3 and then 3 again. That's going to be 6 high. So from the corner here, I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, make a mark right there. All right, so we can already start to see our box form. All right, we're going to go ahead and roughly sketch that in. I'm going to do it lightly here on camera so you guys can see. You're going to use drafting tools. Okay, use a ruler or something to make sure your lines are nice and straight. All right, for the demo, I'm not going to do that. Okay, so we know our shape is going to fit with inside of this box. All right, well, let's start sketching it. We bring this over, all right, and what lines do we see? Well, when we start to see this, all right, over here on this side, it comes up 1 block, so I have 1 cube there, and then above it, I have another cube. So I can go ahead and start sketching those in here, all right? If I have to draw 1 block, remember our cubes are, I come over 3, and I come up 3. Right there's going to be my mark. All right, and now I have my 2 cubes. So we can go ahead and sketch this line in, sketch that line over. Again, I'll do this real light. All right. So continuing to look at this. All right. So there's our 2 blocks right there. They're lining up. Things are looking good. All right. Off of that block where my index finger is, it comes over 2 full blocks. So we're going to follow that line all the way over. That should be 6 blocks. So if we count from where we're at, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Go ahead and sketch that in. Okay. I'll darken it in with pen, just so you guys watching at home can see. Of course, I don't have a pen that works. Let's grab a different one. Okay, so we'll go ahead and darken it. All right. Okay, don't freehand it like I am. Okay, this is just the demo. All right, so looking at our shape, looking at our front view, that's it. Okay, there's no hidden lines, there's nothing on the back of this thing, so we're good to go. All right, that's our front view. Now, in order to draw our right side view, here's our cube. Okay, so now I need to draw this side of it, looking at it straight on. All right. We need to leave some space. Remember, we normally leave 4 blocks of space. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So we're going to leave 4 blocks in between our drawings. Draw this vertical line. We already know how high it is because we can bring that line over. Okay. Bottom of it we can bring over. What is the depth? the depth on this shape, okay, as we look at it, you can see is 2 blocks. So 2 blocks times 3 should be 6 across. Okay, so here where we are, we're going to come over 6 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lightly sketch that in. All right, so now looking at this thing straight on, it's a little rotated, here we go. We're looking at this thing straight on now, okay? We need to get that here for our front view. All right, what do we see? Well, we see 3 flat surfaces. We have the one that's closest to us, right here, okay? That's 1 square, so that's gonna be 3 by 3 on that square. Then back here we have a square, again, 3 by 3 on that one, and then one last 3 by 3 box up here at the top. All right, so we got to get those to fit within this box that we've created. All right, so bring the lines over. We bring this one over. We got our height. We're going to bring this over. We're going to need that line. All right, so we'll go ahead and bring that line across. All right, now we got to count some boxes. So as we mentioned, it comes over 3. All right, so from where I'm at here in the corner, I'll come over 3 boxes, 1, 2, 3. Okay, lightly sketch that in. Okay, we have a big plus sign there. What ones do we have to darken in? Well, it's these 3 surfaces. Okay, that top left-hand corner we don't need. All right, that's not part of our drawing. So we can go ahead and darken that in. There's our right side view. Okay. There's our right side view. Leaving some room between our drawings. Okay, we're going to come up here, up 4 blocks, up 4 blocks. Okay, remember we want to leave that 1-inch spacing. Okay, so I left that 4 blocks, sketched the line across. I'm going to bring this line up right where they cross. Okay. From here, that's where we're going to get our orthographic projection line. We're going to start splitting these boxes in half. How far do we come up? Well, we're going to keep splitting those boxes in half until we meet where this line comes up. So I'm going to project this line up first. And it'll be up here. All right. We'll project that up. And then we're going to keep splitting boxes till we cross over that line. So let's try and get that on camera here so you can watch. Okay. All right, so looking at what just happened, we projected our depth dimension over here up. Okay, we have that measurement right there. Bring that up. We bring this one up. We connect the dots going through the halfway point all the way through each one of those blocks. Once it hits that line, we then project that over towards the left. So we can start to see our top view forming over here. Okay, we're going to bring this line up, and we'll bring this line up, and we'll bring this line up, and all of those are going to help us with our top view. Okay, this is all stuff that we covered in previous lessons talking about multi-view. All right, here we go. All right. Do we have any other lines that we can project? Well, yes, we do. We have this line over here that we never brought up, so we're going to bring that up, let it hit the line, bring it over to the left. Okay, we'll try and get that on camera. All right, so as you can see, we have a lot of things projected. This was our front view. Okay. Was it our front view? No, this was our front view. This was our front view. This was our right side view. Okay. And we're going to flip this thing and looking at it from the top. So if we're looking at that shape, we now need to look at it from the top. All right. What do we see? Well, let's hold this here so the camera can focus. Okay. We have one square here that's going to be a 3x3 block. We have another square here, 3x3 block. And then we have two squares wide, so that's going to be 6 across and down 3. All right, so we have to have that up here in our top view. All right, and we can already start to see that forming, okay? Some of the lines we already have there, so we can darken those in, okay? Everything's already been projected, so we'll go with these two boxes first, okay? And when we look at our drawing here, I'm already seeing those two boxes that we've projected. Okay, that's those two. And then we have the long rectangle, which is going to appear at the top, okay, which we can see right there in that space. Perfect. All right, so let's lay this down and look at our drawing. All right. Now, I know you don't have this specific piece, but I want you to understand the process, okay? Because you're going to be doing this with all 5 of yours. All right, so when we look at this, our front view was when I was looking at it in this direction. Let me back this up a little bit. So we're looking at it in this direction, okay? And we see a couple surfaces. All right, we see this surface and this surface, these two boxes, okay? Which is one continuous box. All right, that's this. Then we rotate it. We're now looking at it in this direction. Okay, so we see this box over here, there, and there. That's why we have those 3 boxes. And then from the top, we're looking at it like this. And there's our drawing, okay? So things are good. All right, at this point, we're good. Now, you have to dimension this, okay? We have to put dimensions on here. But we have to follow all of our guidelines. Okay, we have to make sure that the part is fully dimensioned and that we have everything marked on here. So to dimension this, what is the process? All right, well, we need to know the overall height, the overall width, and the overall depth of our shape, okay? All of those have to be on there. We have to follow those guidelines that we learned in the last unit, all right? So let's start putting some dimensions on this particular piece. I'll walk you through it, okay? There are only 3 numbers that you're going to use when you're dimensioning, okay? And they are 0.75, 1.5, and 2.25. Those are the only 3 numbers you should be writing down, okay? One of our blocks here, okay, is 3 of these. Okay, 3/4 as a decimal is 0.75. All right, if we double that, because we have 2 boxes, the distance from here to here, that's 1.5. And then the overall, which would be 9 boxes, okay, 9 times 0.25 is 2.25, okay, or 2 1/4 of an inch. So, how do we start doing this? Well, let's start with our height. Okay, I look here, I need to know the distance from here to here and the overall height. So we're going to draw some lines, okay? I'm going to draw our extension line. This is the dead pen. Okay, remember, this line that comes out is known as an extension line. It doesn't actually touch the drawing, okay? But it's coming off. If we look here, I left a little bit of space, okay? And then down here, I didn't touch. You leave a little bit of space. the height of this gets put in between arrowheads. Okay, so I'm going to draw some arrowheads on the end. And the height of this is 2 blocks. So 2 blocks is 1.5. Okay, that is the height of that. Then I need to know up to this, so I'm going to nest the dimension in. I'll draw another extension line out. Again, put some arrowheads on here. All right, and I would label this as 1 block in height, which would be 0.75. All right, so our height is done. Our height is done. Let's talk about our width, okay? The overall ends up being 9 blocks times 0.25, which ends up being that 2 1/4. Okay, so we need the overall, and then we also have to nest this area right here. Okay, so the distance from here to here and the overall we have to get on this drawing. So I will draw another extension line out. Leave some space between those arrowheads, okay? And we're going to label this, okay, the overall, which is 3 times 0.75, which is 2 1/4, or 9 times 1/4 of an inch, okay? So 2.25. All right, and then we would need one other extension line right here. Put that between arrowheads, 0.75. All right, so our front view fully dimensioned. Again, these extension lines, they should not be touching your drawing. You got to leave a little bit of space. All right, the only time these extension lines can pass over one another is when it is the overall dimension. So here the 2 1/4 line is crossing this 1 1/2 line. That's the only time they can cross. That's it. All right. So continuing on, our front view is done. All right. We have our height dimensions finished. We have our width dimensions finished. What haven't we done yet? Well, you should be sitting at home and you should be saying, we haven't done the depth. Okay, we don't know the depth. So we could put our depth in one of 2 areas. We could put that information here, indicating the depth of our shape. Okay, so the width of our shape here is the depth of our shape up top. That information got shared through our orthographic projection line up here. Okay, so when you put these measurements on, you can either put them over here or you can put them up here. Just put them together, whichever one you're going to do. So I'm going to put them over here on the right. All right, and we'll go ahead and draw some extension lines off of this. Wait for the bell to get done ringing. Okay. Now, this arrowhead over here, I want to try and keep that at the same height when I come over here. So I'm going to draw another arrowhead. Both sides. All right, and make sure we put those between arrowheads. Don't forget your little arrowheads on the end. All right, and that's our shape. Okay, everything is dimensioned on here. We have the overall width, height, and depth. Everything is done. All right, the only thing you have to do now is I want you to grab a piece of this graph paper, all right, and I want you to draw this thing ISO, but I want you to draw it 3 to 1. So when you did it over here, each block was 1 block. Now each block is going to be 3 blocks. So when I go to draw this particular thing, and I will put a rough sketch of this on here real quick. All right. If I'm drawing this shape, all right, I will first start with okay, they got to be 3 by 3. So we'll start sketching this out. All right, looking at this shape, this is that cube, okay? From there, it comes over 2. All right, so from that point, I'm going to come down 6 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so we're drawing this 3 to 1. Again, I'm doing this without tools, but all right. As you can see here, here is the shape drawn, okay, like that on the ISO paper. It's 3 to 1. Each cube should be 9 blocks, okay? 3 on the height, 3 on the width, 3 on the depth, okay? You're just upscaling these, all right? You're upscaling these, all right? Make sure you're drawing nice crisp lines. Don't do like I did, okay? Make sure you're using rulers and counting blocks, okay? But your goal, okay? You cannot draw your shapes the way they were in the cube for your homework. You can't do it. You might be able to get away with that for one of your shapes, and that's it, okay? The rest, you're going to have to change the orientation of that shape to the best front view, okay? So when you're sitting at home with your wooden cubes right now, put those cubes in the best orientation that shows your part, okay? If this had another piece that came out the back, okay, like this is still the best front view, okay? I wouldn't draw it like this, okay? I would draw it like this because it's going to be easiest for us to dimension this way, okay? This is still the best front view, the way it lays flat. Look at my drawing from last night's homework, okay? It was like this. Let's get rid of that yellow block, okay? It was like this. That's not the best front view, but that's the way it needed to be in order for it to fit in my cube. So your goal for homework, you're doing 5 of these, okay? Because you have 5 parts. And you're doing 5 of these right here, okay? This is not due tonight. I'm giving you 2 full days to get this done. 2 full days to get this finished, all right? So you got all day today, all day tomorrow to work on this, all right? If you have questions, please reach out to me. Keep up the good work, and talk to you soon. Goodbye.